Hey guys, welcome in. So I'm just doing a quick video for you guys to show you the difference between kind of some of the most common range balls and say a premium ball, and what differences you can expect to see, in the carry numbers, spin rate, stuff like that. So I'm going to start off by hitting some 80-yard wedges with a 60 degree. Then I'm going to hit some 7-irons and then some drivers, and I'll show you all the averages and the data at the end. Completely different sound, which just pops so much higher. And then bounce forwards as well. So when we compare the averages there, we can see that the soft range ball and my Wilson Staff Model X are kind of pretty similar. They both spun over 10,000. The range ball actually launched slightly lower, but they're overall pretty similar. But when we get to the firm range ball, that's where we start to see a massive difference. We see the spin dropped, from in the 10,000s down to 3,000, and the launch angle went up from around 30 to over 40. So we got a completely different flight. You can see they were starting to pitch and release forwards when they were landing, instead of kind of pretty much stopping where they were or kind of checking back a little bit. So really big difference there. The one other piece of information I'd throw in this on the wedges, so I know from having done this test before outside, when the soft range ball gets wet or damp, that spin rate just plummets down to something closer to the firm ball, whereas the premium ball keeps its spin a little bit better. So there's something to keep in mind. If you are hitting wedges on the range with a soft range ball, make sure you're drying the ball first and make sure the ground is dry as well. Sit down a little bit. Sit down. That was nice there. It just sounds so different, doesn't it? So much softer, much more tutty again. Definitely a spinnier flight, that one. definitely spinnier. Okay, so the iron averages were actually probably a little bit more similar than I expected. I expected the softball to drop off a little bit shorter than it did. I mean, it did go the shortest of the three, but not by a massive amount. We can see overall the launch angles were, kind of similar. There's kind of a degree in them. But, again, the best performance clearly is going to be from the Tour premium ball. Again, it's really the spin rates that are really causing the biggest difference here. We have a little bit of a difference in ball speed, but the spin rates are what's really causing the carry distance to drop off that kind of 8 or 10 yards. Again, one side note to this, because of the spin rates, just because of the dimple patterns not being as good as a premium ball, just be careful if you're hitting range balls out in the wind as well, because they tend to be more susceptible to crosswinds, into breeze, stuff like that. Okay, so finally we've got to the driver averages. So, as to be expected, the premium ball again is the fastest, highest launching, lowest spin. So that's going to give us both the longest carry and the longest total number. Again, kind of expected, the softest ball has the slowest ball speed. That's because this is across the board. This is, for all golf balls, the softer the compression, the slower the ball speed is going to be, and that becomes more exaggerated the faster the swing speed is. That's why a Pro V1X would be slightly faster ball speed than the Pro V1. It just across the board, that applies. So, as well as the ball speed dropping, launch angle came down and spin rate went up. So we got the shortest carry by, a lot. We dropped from 339 in the air all the way back to 292, and we got less roll because it spun more. So by far the shortest. Then we have the firm range ball. So it kind of fits somewhere in the middle. We definitely lost a little bit of ball speed. My swing speed was pretty much the same for all these. So, we lost a little bit of ball speed. Spin rates weren't too bad. Carry number wasn't too bad. But there is one little word of caution I'll put on that. You'll see that the standard deviations are smallest with the firm range ball. The reason for that is I didn't hit as many shots, and that is because firm range balls crack driver heads. Particularly if you hit them when they're cold. So if you go to the range after work or after school or something, be very careful of hitting those kind of solid, firm range balls, because they really do a number on the driver face, and even if you don't crack it, you might knock the bulge and roll out of the face. So just be careful with that. In closing, do comment down below, did you think the numbers were more similar than you expected? Was there more of a gap than you expected between kind of, they're both kind of high quality range balls, both being a soft and a firm one, and a premium ball, how did that test compare to what you thought was going to happen going into it? Personally, for me, if I have the option, so if there's a couple different ranges near me, if I had to choose between the two, I'd go with the soft range ball all day. It's going to be better for your driver head, better for your wedge play, provided the ball's dry. And, you know, by and large, you can work on every club in the bag. If your only option is to hit the kind of firmer range ball, just be aware that your wedge play practice is probably not going to be the most beneficial, just because the flight's so different. You're still obviously better off hitting them with a wedge than hitting no shots, but you know, if you can, you know, try supplement that with maybe hitting some extra wedge shots, go play 9 holes in the evening, and hit some extra shots with your own ball and stuff like that. Obviously the best option is if you have access to a premium ball, to the extent that, you know, given just how different some of those numbers are, you're probably better off practicing indoor with a premium ball than outdoor with a range ball. So hopefully that was helpful for everybody. Please comment below what kind of videos you'd like to see next, and, you know, follow along, share with your friends, and we'll see you next time.